back again. This is a big one. This is the rematch from if you watched New Blood episode 1, you'll remember that the Chaos fought the Space Wolves in their little outpost. Well, this time the Chaos have come to the main base. So we've got, it's a bit further north on the planet, so we've got an Arctic wasteland, a lot of snowfall. As you can see, this is the main base, and the Chaos are not holding anything back this time. They're coming full force, bringing everything they've got at the Space Wolf base to try and take them out and capture this planet. So this is the board. Let's go and have a look at the armies. Okay, here's the Chaos Force. This is 100 power, being led by this guy. A Demon Prince with the Mark of Tzeentch, wings, malefic talons, a Warp Bolter, and the Eye of Tzeentch. So that's him. Second in command, we've got our little Lord, Jump Pack, Lightning Claws. Now for troops, we've got 10 Marines back there. The champion has a power sword. There's 2 melter guns in the squad, just there. And they'll be travelling in this Rhino, which has a combi bolter. Everything here is WYSIWYG. Next troop's choice, the Fire Blades are back. 10 bloodletters, banner and instrument. And then the big squad of 20 bloodletters, 2 icons and 2 instruments. They're back, causing havoc again. And then we've got 10 cultists with close combat weapons and auto pistols. And there's a guy with a flamer. And then heavy support, we've got 2 Forge Fiends, and they're both the same with the double Hades auto cannons. So they're going to be causing some punishment. And over here in the elites section, got 2 Hell Brutes, both with their fists. One has a twin las cannon and one has the multi-melter. And then for fast attack, we've got 5 bikes. One's got the plasma gun mounted on the bike, one has a melter gun mounted on the bike. A couple of them have chain swords, and the champion has a power sword. And we've got 6 bikes, a little mix and match unit here. The champion's got his power axe, and the rest of them have all got chain swords. So that is 100 power of Chaos. And this is the battalion detachment, which gives them 6 command points. So they're really gunning for the Space Wolves now. They left the last episode a bit pissed off that they couldn't finish off the Space Wolves. If you remember, the Space Wolves won that one on points. So the Chaos left with their tails between their legs, and now they're coming back full force to try and wipe out the Space Wolves. So let's look at the Space Wolves. Now quickly just mention that the Demon Prince, his Warlord trait is the one that allows him to re-roll wounds in close combat, and he has 2 psychic powers, Smite and a Gift of Chaos. That's him. Okay, here's the Space Wolves 100 power battalion detachment, being led by this guy. Wolf Lord, Terminator armor, power fist, wrist mounted grenade launcher, and the Kraken Bone sword. He has Saga of the Bear warlord trait, which is the one that gives him +1 wound. Second in command is our trusty Wolfguard battle leader, who you may remember from episode 1, he was the MVP of the battle, so if he does well in this one, he may be worthy of getting himself a name. He's got the Thunderhammer Storm Shield, and he'll be travelling by himself in a Razorback, Twin Las Cannon, Hunter Killer Missile. Troops, got 10 Grey Hunters here. They've got 2 melter guns, and they've all got chain swords. Pack leader has a power sword, and they'll be travelling in a Rhino with 2 storm bolters. Second squad, 10 Grey Hunters. This unit has the Wolfguard pack leader, plasma pistol, power fist, and they have 2 plasma guns. And we've got 10 Blood Claws. At the back, the pack leader has a power axe, and there's a flamer in there. I think that's all the troops. Let's go on to elites. Okay, we got the Venerable Dreadnought with his Twin Las Cannon, fist, and storm bolter. Then we have 5 scouts, sniper rifles, camo cloaks, and the RPG. 5 Terminators. We see 2 Thunderhammer Storm Shields, 1 Heavy Flamer, and the rest have claws and lightning claws and storm bolters. A fast attack, we've got the 3 Thunderwolves, Thunderhammer Storm Shield, Frost Axe Storm Shield, and Lightning Claw Plasma Pistol. We've got 5 Fenrisian Wolves, and then heavy support, 6 Long Fangs. There's a Wolfguard pack leader with plasma pistol, power fist, 2 heavy bolters, 2 RPGs, and a plasma cannon. And then the Hellblasters with the heavy plasma incinerators, and that is the Space Wolves 100 power list. Okay, I rolled for the mission and we got this one, Eternal War, the Scouring. So there's 6 objectives which I placed on the table and I scattered them a little bit. And then you have to roll to figure out which one's superior, which is number 5, and which one is inferior, which is number 2. And in terms of deployment, I rolled for the deployment map, and we got this one, Search and Destroy. So it's a bit of a weird one, but let's have a look at the board. Chaos deployed first, so there in this corner, here's number 2, objective 2, which is the inferior one, so that's worth the least amount of points, and number 5 is there, which is worth the most. Then we've got number 6 there, along with 10 blood letters, 5 bikes, the Rhino with the Marines in, Forge Fiend, Demon Prince, Hell Brute, and we've got a big blob of blood letters at the back next to objective number 3, and we've got the other Forge Fiend, another Hell Brute, and the cultists there. And then on this side we've got the Space Wolves Down here is objective number 4. Is that all of them? Oh, there's number 1 in the middle. So we've got the Razorback, the Long Fangs, the Dreadnought, a unit of Grey Hunters, the Thunderwolves, the other, oh, these are the Blood Claws, and the Lord right in the middle. There's the Rhino, the other unit of Grey Hunters, the Wolves, and the Hellblasters. So it's a bit of a strange deployment map. As you can see, they're all kind of grouped around the edge of the corner. So let's have a look at the reserves. In reserves for the Chaos, we've got these Marines are in the Rhino. The Lord and the Warp Talons are in Deep Strike Reserve. And we've got some bikes there. For the Space Wolves, obviously he's in the Razorback. These guys are in the Rhino. The Scouts will infiltrate, and the Terminators are in the teleportation chamber. So the Space Wolves will try to steal the initiative on the roll of a 6, which they do not. So it will be Chaos, turn 1. Okay, Chaos movement. Both of the Forge Fiends have stayed still because they're in range with their guns. This Hellbrute has stayed still. The Bloodletters moved and advanced up. The Cultists have moved up. That Hellbrute has moved up. The Rhinos moved up. Demon Prince moved up and advanced. These Bloodletters have moved and advanced. And the bikes are sneaking their way around the corner there to do a little pincer movement. So on to shooting. Alright, so everything pretty much fired at the Blood Claws. Both Forge Fiends, both Hellbrutes, the Rhino. Yeah, because they were the closest unit to all of them. Only 4 of them died, because luckily they got a bit of cover save from this building. So that's 4 Blood Claws down. And now we're going on to Space Wolves turn 1. Because there are no assaults. Nothing is in range to assault yet. So it'll be Space Wolves turn 1. Oh, just before I forget, I just rolled the Blood Claws morale test and they passed. So Space Wolves turn 1. Alright, Space Wolves movement. The Rhinos moved up with the Wolves, and the remaining Blood Claws moved up to attack these cultists. The Lord is just hiding behind the building for now. Hellblasters have stayed still. The Razorback has moved around here to try and get away from those bikes that were coming around the corner. The Grey Hunters have moved up. Thunderwolves have moved up over here. And the Dreadnought and the Long Fangs have moved up onto the top of this building. No psychic powers for the Wolves, so straight on to shooting. Well, a pretty good shooting phase for the Space Wolves. They killed 3 cultists here. Killed one of the Bloodletters there. The Hellblasters fired across and that took 2 wounds off of the Demon Prince, which is pretty good. And then the Dreadnought with his las cannon managed to take out 2 of the bikers. 5 Bloodletters were killed as well. I can't remember. Oh, that was from these Grey Hunters. down here. Last cannon fired, didn't do anything, so not too bad. On to the assault phase now. Okay, in this combat the blood claws managed to kill 2 cultists, so that's not very impressive, and the cultists managed to kill a blood claw in return. That's pretty good for them. The combat over here, the Thunderwolves charged into the Demon Prince, took another 2 wounds off of him, and he returned by taking 2 wounds off of this guy with the frost axe. So now it will be Chaos turn 2. Alright, movement. The bikes came on from reserve, they've come on at the back. The Forge Fiend, Hellbrute and the other Forge Fiend have all stayed still again. These Bloodletters have moved up, looking to engage the wolves. These Bloodletters have moved up, looking to engage the Marines. And the Warp Talons done their Warp Flame Strike, and the Lord has done his Jump Back Assault, and they're looking to take out the Hellblasters. The Rhino has moved up, and the bikes have continued their pincer movement, so they're coming round the back now, looking at the Long Fangs. So on to the psychic phase now. Okay, the Demon Prince cast Smite and did 2 mortal wounds to the Thunderwolves, so this guy's down to 1 now as well. Shooting phase. Okay, shooting for Chaos. I used 1 command point to put the Demon Forge on this Forge Fiend, and he fired off a few shots against the Rhino, and then I was also helped by the other Forge Fiend who fired across, and they managed to whittle the Rhino down to 2 wounds remaining. The Hellbrute fired off his las cannon and took 4 wounds off of the Razorback. Then this Hellbrute fired his multi-melter and missed, and then round the back the bikes managed to kill one of the Long Fangs. So that was a pretty good turn for the Chaos. Now going on to the assault phase. Okay, in the assault phase these Grey Hunters managed to finish off the Bloodletters, which got them first blood. The Demon Prince finished off 2 of the wolves, so he's just stuck with the last wolf, Thunderwolf there. The bikers charged in and killed 3 of the Long Fangs, didn't take any wounds back. Now over here the Warp Talons failed their charge against the Hellblasters. I used 2 command points to re-roll that because I didn't want to waste their Warp Flame Strike, and they failed again. So that wasn't very good. And then over here, as expected, the Bloodletters destroyed all of the wolves. So they're a big mob now, and these little unit of Grey Hunters managed to finish off the cultists, and now they're looking to shoot down the rest of these Bloodletters before they get mauled. So now on to Space Wolves turn 2. Right, movement for the Space Wolves then. These bloodletters are definitely a priority target. So the blood claws have backed up and organised themselves so their flamer is in range. The rhino disgorged its contents and moved 3 inches, which is all it can move at the moment. So all of these grey hunters are getting ready to attack the bloodletters. The scouts did their infiltration move and came on this side. The terminators did their teleport strike down here, looking to engage Matey Boy over there. The Hell Blasters have stayed still, they've just turned around, looking to gun down the Warp Talons. Over here, Razorback has moved up. These Grey Hunters have positioned themselves to gun down the Hell Brute, and the Dreadnought has moved up to get a better view for firing. So that's all of the movement. On to shooting Space Wolves. Pretty good shooting for the Space Wolves. The Scouts, the Grey Hunters and the Blood Claws combined managed to wipe out 13 bloodletters. So that's pretty good. The Terminators fired their Storm Bolters and did nothing at the Forge Fiend. The Hell Brute has been taken out, which was a combination of the bolters from the Rhino and the Grey Hunters there with their bolt guns and plasma guns. The Hunter Killer missile was fired at the Forge Fiend and failed to wound, although it did hit, which is unusual for a Hunter Killer. The las cannon fired across at the other Forge Fiend, did nothing. What else have we done? That Hell Brute up there is reduced to 4 wounds now, and that was done by the las cannon on the Dreadnought here. And then the Hell Blasters managed to kill 4 of the Warp Talons. So it's a pretty good shooting phase. And now we're going to go on to the assault phase for the Space Wolves. Alright, the Grey Hunters managed to finish off the bloodletters, so that's pretty good. The Thunderwolf is still trapped with the Demon Prince, and he's now down to 1 wound left. And over here, the Bikers killed the Long Fangs, so there's only 1 of them left. So now on to Chaos turn 3. Right, the Chaos movement. This Forge Fiend has just turned on the spot, he hasn't moved. He's going to fire some shots into those Terminators. The Bikes have moved across, looking to attack these Grey Hunters. The wounded Hell Brute has just dropped down, so we can secure that objective number 3. This Forge Fiend has not moved. The Rhino, or the Marines, disembarked from the Rhino, so they're now holding that objective, and the Rhino moved around the back, so he's now holding Line Breaker. Over here, the Lone Warp Talon has moved up, and he's looking to charge into the back of the Lord, and the Lord has moved up, looking to face the Hell Blasters. So on to the Psychic phase. Oh, I think I might have forgotten about the Psychic phase last turn. Never mind. The Demon Prince just cast Smite against the last Thunderwolf and got rid of him. So now on to shooting. Alright, shooting. This Forge Fiend activated his Demon Forge and managed to kill 2 Terminators. The Bikes managed to take out a couple of these Grey Hunters. The Hellbrute fired his las cannon and did a few wounds to the Razorback. He's now got 3 left. Warp Bolter did nothing. The other Forge Fiend managed to take the Dreadnought down to 1 wound. Oh, actually he had a little bit of help from these Marines. They split fire, fired their melter guns, 2 melter shots into the Dreadnought, and then their bolt guns into these Grey Hunters. Managed to kill 1 of them. That was it for the shooting. Going on to the assault phase now. This should be interesting. I think these bikers are probably going to finish that guy off. I'm interested to see what will happen over here. We've got a lone Warp Talon against the Lord, and then the Lord against the Hellblasters. So this should be interesting. Assault phase. Okay, it was quite a strange combat phase. These guys did nothing to each other, so they're still locked in combat. The Lord managed to kill a Hellblaster, but he's now down to 3 wounds. The Warp Talon and the Space Wolf Lord did nothing. The Warp Talon didn't do anything to the Wolf Lord. He managed to wound him, but he made his demon saves. Over here, the Grey Hunter pack leader with his power fist managed to take out the Demon Prince. He lost a wound on Overwatch, and then he was taken down by the power fist. But I think he did manage to kill 3 Grey Hunters before he went down. And over there, the bikers failed their charge. So, on to Space Wolf's turn. Okay, Space Wolf's movement. These guys have all moved up. So the pack leader is now holding objective 6, and they've all turned their guns upon this unit who are holding objective 5, which is the one that's worth extra points. Razorback has moved up. The Rhino's shuffled a little bit with its 3-inch movement. The Scouts have moved up a little bit. The Terminators have moved up. And the Grey Hunters and Blood Claws have moved up, looking to attack the bikes. So when we go to the shooting phase. Okay, the shooting. The Grey Hunters, Blood Claws and Snipers failed to do anything. Oh no, sorry. They killed 1 biker. I think that was the guy with the melter gun. Took him out. Over here, these Grey Hunters managed to get rid of 3 of these Marines. And then the Dreadnought took 3 wounds off of the Forge Fiend over there. And the Space Wolves really wanted to get rid of the Forge Fiend because that's a lot of high strength shots to deal with, but they played a tactical card instead, and the Razorback fired his las cannon and destroyed the Hellbrute who was holding the objective. So that was a bit of a tactical move there by the Space Wolves, but unfortunately it means that the Forge Fiend is still functional, as well as this one over here. So now on to the assault phase. Okay, in the combat, the bikers finally managed to get rid of the last remaining Long Fang. The Wolf Lord finished off the Warp Talon. Down here the Lord, Chaos Lord, killed one Hellblaster and put a wound on another one. He still has 3 wounds left. The Terminators did nothing to the Forge Fiend, even with their Thunder Hammers. The Forge Fiend took a wound off of one of them. And down here, the Grey Hunters managed to kill one biker, and the Blood Claws managed to put a wound on another biker. Apart from that, the bikers did nothing in return. So there's still a bit to go. We've still got quite a lot of Marines over there fighting for the objective, which is worth more points. And we've still got these 2 Forge Fiends who are causing a bit of havoc. So let's go on to the next turn. Alright, turn 4 movement for the Chaos. Not much has happened because everyone's locked in combat. The Rhino has just scooted round here a little bit, so he's now in range of the Wolf Lord with his combi bolter. He's still got a line breaker. The bikes who have now been freed up have moved up, looking to engage the Wolf Lord. These Marines have just repositioned themselves, so they've all got rapid fire range on these Marines, and the 2 Melters are in melter range of the Dreadnought. And that is all of the movement. So we're going to go on to the shooting phase. Chaos. Alright, shooting. The Rhino shot and did nothing to the Wolf Lord. However, the bikers managed to take 2 wounds off of the Wolf Lord, so he's now down to 5, because he has Saga of the Bear as his Warlord trait, which gives him +1. So he has 5 left. Over here, Melter Guns failed to do anything against the Dreadnought, but the Bolt Guns managed to kill 3 of those Grey Hunters. And the Forge Fiend shot at the Grey Hunters and failed to do anything. And then I also remembered that vehicles can back out of combat, which I'd forgotten. So the Forge Fiend at the end reversed up and shot at the Terminators, but also did nothing. So now, going into the assault phase. Okay, in the assault phase, these 2 guys are still fighting, just those 2 left. The Wolf Lord managed to dish out some damage on the bikers. There's 1 left and 1 has 1 wound left. The Blood Claws managed to kill a biker, and the Grey Hunters managed to kill their bikers and move on. So on to Space Wolf's turn. Alright, Space Wolf's movement. The Grey Hunters are making their way towards this objective, because they have a melter gun there as well, who's looking to take a shot at this fella. The Terminators are pursuing. They want to thunder hammer him. The Rhino has skulked along, so he's now sitting on that objective. Razorback has moved into the trench, looking to shoot Forge Fiend number 2. And that's about it. Everyone else has stayed put. So on to the shooting phase. Alright, these scouts. First of all, the 4 snipers fired off over here, managed to take 3 of those Marines out. Then the RPG fellow fired a crack missile, hit the Forge Fiend, wounded the Forge Fiend, and did 6 damage. So he took half his wounds off in one shot, so that was pretty good. Melter gun and all the bolter fire did nothing. Las cannon did nothing against the Forge Fiend. This las cannon did 1 wound to the Forge Fiend, and then these plasma guns took another fellow out of there. So now onto the assault phase. Okay, everlasting combat. Hellblaster's down to 1 wound left, and the Chaos Lord is still fighting on. Wolf Lord managed to kill another bike, and he's still got his wounds left. Over here, nothing happened, they're still fighting. Over here, the Terminators managed to take the Forge Fiend down to 1 wound remaining. Obviously he'll get 1 wound back in a minute, but that was pretty good going for them, and he did nothing back to them. So going on to Chaos turn. Chaos movement. Forge Fiend is backed up, and they've both regained 1 wound. And these guys have just reorganised themselves, so they're all coherent. Onto the shooting phase. Good shooting from these boys. 2 melter guns finished off the Dreadnought, and then the 2 other guys split fire and finished. No, they didn't finish, they killed 1 guy from that squad. Forge Fiend shot at these guys as well, did nothing. The other Forge Fiend over there decided to shoot at the Razorback and took him down to 1 wound left. So onto the assault phase. Another Blood Claw killed, but they're still locked in combat. And then over here, an interesting turn of events. The Wolf Lord finished off the last biker, and the Chaos Lord finished off the last Hellblaster. So it looks like they might have a little showdown coming up now. On to Space Wolves turn 5. Over here, the Terminators are determined to take out this Forge Fiend, so they're still following him. The Grey Hunters have secured that objective. The Wolfguard battle leader has finally decided it's time to get out of his vehicle before it blows up, so he's out and about now. And then over here, the Wolf Lord has come to challenge the Chaos Lord. So Space Wolf shooting. Alright, pretty good shooting by the Space Wolf. Snipers fired over there, did nothing, but the RPG split fire at the Forge Fiend and did nothing. The melter gun over here managed to destroy the Forge Fiend. So the Space Wolves have now secured Linebreaker and that objective. These guys managed to kill another Marine with a plasma, and the Lord fired his wrist-mounted grenade launcher and did nothing to the other Lord. So now, and the las cannon from the Razorback fired but did nothing against the Forge Fiend. So into the assault phase. Alright, yet again, these guys have done nothing to each other, so they are still locked in combat. However, over here, this epic battle between Lord and Lord, there has been one victor, and it is the Wolf Lord. Took out the Chaos Lord with his power fist. Actually, he took him down to one wound remaining with his power fist, and then finished him off with the Kraken Bone Sword. So, Chaos Lord is down. Wolf Lord consolidates back in that direction to secure that objective. And that is the end of turn 5. So let's roll to see if the game continues. Right. Oh, I just had to check the book because I always forget if it's a 3 or a 4 plus. It's a 3 plus, the game continues. So it does. Not a lot of movement for Chaos turn 6. The Rhino just inched forward a couple of inches so he can get a better range on the Lord with his combi bolter. Those fellows just reorganised themselves, so they got the melters up front, and that was about it. So on to the shooting phase. Alright, those melter guns managed to finish off the plasma guns from the Space Wolves. The Forge Fiend over there took 2 wounds off of the Wolfguard battle leader, but he is still alive. And then down here, the combi bolter on the Rhino managed to take a wound off of the Wolf Lord. So, onto the fight phase again. Let's see if this combat can come to an end. Finally. And the answer to that question was no. They just keep failing to wound each other. It's ridiculous. So they're still stuck in combat. But there are no other combats. So it's now Space Wolves turn 5. Alright. The Grey Hunters have turned around and are making their way back, and they're going to get involved with this combat and try and finish off these bloody bikers. The Terminators have moved up to hold this objective, and the Wolfguard battle leader has moved over, so he's now holding that one. So, shooting phase, Space Wolves. Alright, the las cannon from the Razorback managed to do 3 wounds to the Forge Fiend. And over here, the snipers fired over at the last 3 Marines. As you can see, they did nothing. So now it's the fight phase. We're going to charge these Grey Hunters in and see if we can finish off these pesky bikes once and for all. Fight phase. Right, the Grey Hunters made their charge, but the never-ending combat is still going on. The bikes killed 1 Bloodclaw. Apart from that, they're all just still chopping away at each other. However, it is the end of turn 6, so we're going to roll, see if the game carries on a 4 plus. It does. So we're going on to turn 7. Chaos. Right, the Forge Fiend finished off the Razorback, and the Melter Gun guys killed the Wolfguard battle leader. which is huge because that gets him off of that objective. So that's huge for the Chaos. Down here, one more Blood Claw was killed, and then each bike took 1 wound. So they're still there, and they both have 1 wound left. Now this is it now, Space Wolf's final turn to see if they can finish off the Chaos. So last turn. Okay. Snipers managed to kill another Marine. So there's 1 left. 2 left. And then, the very last turn of the game, the Space Wolves finished off the 2 bikers. So, that is the end of the game. Let's calculate the victory points. Now each objective, actually let me check the book and I'll come back. Right, the final scores are in. The superior objective is worth 4 points, and that is number 5, which the Chaos hold over here. The inferior objective was number 2. Nobody holds that one. All the others are worth 2 points. So the Space Wolves hold that one. Nobody holds that one. Space Wolves hold this one. Space Wolves hold this one. Chaos have Line Breaker there. Space Wolves have Line Breaker there. Space Wolves also had First Blood and Slay the Warlord. So, final score is 9-5 to the Space Wolves. So it is a Space Wolf victory. Although it was a tough battle. There was a lot of stale combats going on. And a lot of terrible, terrible shooting from both sides. But that's going to be huge in the league table. Space Wolves get 10 points. They're going to jump well ahead. And the Chaos will lose 5 points for losing. So, not sure what's going to happen to them. We'll have a look at the league table in a minute and see the new standings. All in all, New Blood episode 2 finished. That's the end of the New Blood episodes. Moving on to something different next time. So, over and out.